Zondervan presents Prisoner of Conscience by Frank Wolf with Ann Morse. Read by Jim Meskimen.
Forward by Chuck Colson. In every generation, God chooses a handful of courageous leaders to defend the truth and promote righteousness, often against the prevailing currents. Frank Wolf is such a man for our times. As the patron saint of unpopular causes, Frank is a modern-day William Wilberforce. The parallels between their lives are amazing. Wilberforce, a great hero of mine, was the 19th century British parliamentarian remembered mainly for his decades-long battle against the slave trade. Frank Wolf, an American congressman, has fought long and hard against modern slavery, as with Sudanese Christians. Wilberforce also declared war on dozens of other social evils of his time, promoting everything from prison reform to the prevention of cruelty to animals. One of the sponsors of the Prison Rape Elimination Act of 2003, Frank Wolf also fought for prison reform, and he's fought against the social scourges of gangs and gambling interests and led efforts to keep blood diamonds from being sold in the U.S. Other parallels. Wilberforce worked closely with a small group of friends known as the Clapham sect, men and women who met in one another's homes and prayed together as they fought their political battles. Frank Wolf has for decades been part of a congressional small group, both Republicans and Democrats, who pray for one another as they fight great humanitarian battles, from world hunger to the persecution of Iraqi Christians to the slaughter of innocents in Darfur. And, like Wilberforce and his colleagues, they get together with their wives to socialize outside the halls of Congress. Wilberforce, father of 6, gave high priority to his family, often, as one biographer noted, excusing himself from important deliberations with fellow MPs to go out on the lawn and have a race with the children. Frank, father of 5, also vowed not to sacrifice his family. He reserves Sundays for church and family and installed a special phone line in his office for the exclusive use of his wife and kids. If the phone rings, no matter what he's doing or how important his visitors, he answers that phone. In 2000, Frank and I both worked on the issue of the sexual trafficking of more than 2 million women and children around the world, another tragic form of slavery. Frank was one of the first people to speak out on this issue, and he was absolutely relentless against the fierce opposition of the Clinton administration, which wanted to help women find work by allowing certain prostitution rings to flourish. This is just one more example of Frank's determination to promote righteousness. The administration relented, and the law was passed to prosecute traffickers. During his 30-year career, Frank has dared to go where few members of Congress have gone before, often in defiance of the authorities and frequently in disguise. As one reporter wrote, his is the ubiquitous, not famous face that pops up in places where bullets fly, babies starve, and thousands of people suffer in obscurity. While other congressmen and congresswomen take fact-finding tours to Bermuda or Paris, Wolf has traveled to Soviet gulags, to rebel-held Sierra Leone, and to the bombed-out villages of Sudan and Chechnya. His life story reads like a fiction thriller, but it is all true. Frank has steadfastly spoken truth to power, whether that power was Ronald Reagan, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, or the world's most ruthless dictators. Frank is the conscience of the house. There is no one in American public life I admire more than Frank Wolf. Like the late Mother Teresa, he measures himself by faithfulness, not success. Political and religious freedom fighters around the world and advocates for the world's poor consider Frank Wolf a hero. So do I. This humble, self-effacing man has earned the grateful thanks of everyone, from Romanian defectors to Darfurian rape victims to the Dalai Lama. Frank's passion for justice is the reason he became the second person to whom Prison Fellowship awarded the Wilberforce Award, given annually to an individual who has made a difference in the face of formidable societal problems and injustices. Frank is the living embodiment
Sample complete. Ready to continue?